All right, guys, we're back, and this is Four Guys,
One Film.
And today, my film of choice was a classic one that nobody really talks about, To Live and Die in L.A., directed by William Friedkin. And for those of you who may be listening in for the first time, this is just what we do. We watch movies every week, pretty much, and the four of us get to choose one movie a week. And it's either new to us or old to us, but we just get together and talk about it and discuss. And so, with this one, I don't know if you guys know who William Friedkin is, but he did direct a little movie called The Exorcist, which I did not think was that scary at all.
Oh, that's the movie that ripped off the music from Masters of Disguise.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It ripped off Masters of Disguise. Nobody talks about it, but they should. And he also did another little movie called Sorcerer, which bombed, unfortunately.
Had
because
no fucking sorcery.
No sorcery, but it bombed because it came out the same time as Star Wars did.
Not enough wizards,
Yeah.
for sure.
But what makes To Live and Die in L.A. a unique one for me is just the 80s aesthetic of it. You know, in terms of like the ambiance, the music, the acting, the violence. It's just peak 80s for me.
The machismo.
The tight Levi's jeans, the denim.
The use of women.
The misogyny.
The misogyny.
Jesus Christ. So much of it in this.
So much abuse.
But yeah, I just want to know, like, what are your guys' first impressions on the film?
I don't know, man. I think if watching this movie like the second time around, it was less memorable.
Yeah. First of all, how do you even see these movies? Because this is not one that anybody really knows.
Dude,
you know what? I always hear about this, but I've heard the name and I'm like, I've never actually.
But every
seen
time I
clips or
think
anything.
To Live and Die in L.A., I think Tupac.
Yeah, that's
Right.
probably
Right.
what is coming to my mind. But I'm like now watching it, I'm like, oh, I get it. This is good.
No, man,
Yeah.
dude, HBO has some crazy like if you watch late night HBO or like Cinemax or shit
Yeah.
like that, like
They'll show the good stuff.
they show some weird shit
It's
because
like the amount of times I try to watch Skinamax.
Exactly.
And bullshit was on.
and then like
You're like, damn, they're not getting to it, but maybe if I watch 90 more minutes,
Yeah.
they'll finally get to it.
I don't know, man. This movie's like I think it's a good movie to watch if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely something different, especially if you're just used to like all these big cinematic, big production movies, and you just want something that's decent to watch. Like, and it's aesthetically pleasing. Like you said, it has a lot of aesthetically pleasing parts to it. The soundtrack is great. You know, the acting is probably like
The acting was mid.
The acting was mid. So you're not.
It was a little mid.
Yeah.
There's elements though. I mean, we talked about certain characters. I mean, before I'll let you keep going.
Yeah.
But certain characters I think killed it.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that it's the '80s, they do everything like on set, in camera. You know, it's very good. There's no CGI. It's like there's real cars chase scenes. There's explosions.
Yeah.
There's
Like
fire,
it didn't feel dated. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, no,
like honestly, if it wasn't for like the bad, like the grainy picture of the '80s that
Like the
looked,
film,
like
yeah.
the film, like it would have looked great. Like if you
What I fucking loved was all the like the gunshots and like people getting their heads blown out. All of it was
Yeah.
practical, and I was just like, oh shit, I did not expect that whatsoever. But it was great.
That's what I appreciate about it, is because it's like a typical like cops and robbers movie, but they kind of like change a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the things that I saw for the first time were so unexpected, and Willem Dafoe is just like so fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
well, to
fantastic.
Isaac he's a creep.
you tell me he's not creeping.
He was creeping this entire movie. Let's be honest.
He was kind of hot though.
and he dies in like
Hey,
a serious way.
you're beautiful. All right.
You're beautiful.
Dude, he dies weird in
baby.
this movie. Lighthouse, Spider-Man, you fucking name it, he's dying weird.
The Northman.
I think it's in his contract. He says
He's
like,
like,
hey, if I don't
I gotta
die
die.
in
If
a
I
fucking
die,
blaze
it's
of
gotta be
glory,
weird.
like
Yeah, it's got to be fucking.
Yeah. One of the crazy things about it is how, this is going to be a pretty major spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it, but how the main character just gets killed.
Yeah, it gave
Like-
major like vibes of No Country for Old Men too. Just like
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
super nonchalant, passed over. Like they reference him obviously and shit, but like it's a major plot point that just continues on within their character.
All right, I want to get back to this, but the fucking ending, oh my god, with the partner. We'll get to that eventually.
I
All right,
gotta say it,
We'll
but
get
yeah.
to it.
we'll get to it. But also, like, I also like that there's it's ambiguous almost who's the good and who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because like you're kind of rooting for the cops in the beginning, but then you're also
wait,
like,
what? How is this ambiguous?
because the cop guys were being shady as
Yeah,
well. They were
you know,
doing all
I
the
think-
Yeah, but they were trying to do the right thing. I don't think it's
when you're stealing money from drug dealers and then
to catch the
eventually
guy that's
killing
gonna,
them.
like doing bad shit. He looked like
Yeah,
Well, I
but
mean, I think
does that
it's-
objectively make them
Well,
the good guys?
I think what it is that like everybody's bad,
Yeah.
and the cops, like you don't know if they're just as bad or not.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Well,
Then.
it's-
I mean, I'm like, I don't know who to root for.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
like,
this is a classic
who's
case
the-
of does the ends justify the means, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally all this is like
Yeah.
how far are you able to go until you can. I mean, they were like they literally were told like, yeah, you guys are gonna do time for what you did, and it's funny because like the FBI isn't even admitting to the fact that they shot their own fucking guy. It's like, all right, well, I guess their ends justify
like
the
Detective
means.
Fong died at the
Yeah.
Yeah, he was murdered. It's like what?
Weird. Anyone that has any information here, submit it anonymously.
Yeah.
It's like they were.
But
they
it
were
was
like,
again, it was the 80s. It's not like they wear body cams like they do.
oh yeah,
today.
no
No, of
body
course.
cams. The
You got a
DNA
lot.
was old.
You got away with a lot of shady shit back then. I'm sure, just because like, I mean, if nobody's there to witness it.
Yeah.
Kind of goes under the rug
But
fairly easily.
are there any scenes in particular for you guys that kind of like stood out?
Probably the car chase.
The
The
car
car
chases.
chase.
I want to get to the car chase.
Yeah, let's talk about
that.
that car
That was
chase.
The
the
car
best.
chase is the best scene because one, it was practical. They closed down a whole fucking freeway. It was there was like no special effects.
Mhm.
No
Again-
real like crazy music too, kind of over. Like one of the things that I noticed on the car chase that I don't really think on like any modern car chases is like you can actively hear the accelerator and like the brake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it's consistently like throttle off, throttle off.
they
Like
even
you can
sho-
hear the
and they
RPMs.
even, and they even like took the time to show that movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
And it was so long too. It was such a long
Yeah.
sequence,
But
and
it-
it
it
kept
didn't-
going and going. And you're like, wait, there's more. They're jumping
Yeah.
a fucking train.
I felt
They're going
like
over the
that
train
that second
tracks.
officer who's like, oh, thank God we made it. Oh
Yeah.
fuck, they're back.
Dude, that's when I was like, wait, are they undercover too? Because I was
that's
like, where
yeah,
the
that
fuck are
was
they
that
all
was
coming
such
out
a
of?
slow but great way to build the reveal.
But
Yeah.
and the good thing about the car chase, it didn't feel like overly produced. Like it, like you know how like oh this guy's fucking magically drifting. He can
No.
like he's pulling 18 gears and shit.
No,
like,
it shows them
felt super
crashing.
real.
It
Yeah.
shows them hitting other cars. It shows them like doing stupid shit. It shows them having to brake and tell guys like get the
Mhm.
fuck
Fuck
out of the
outta
way.
here.
Yeah. I bet they
Yeah.
crashed a ton of times. Like, there's no way they did this super smoothly.
There was a
It was
fucking
probably all professional drivers.
There
though.
was
Yeah, it has to
literally
be.
a semi truck that I saw go over a car and like crash
Yeah.
into it. And I was like, is there someone in there? Is there a stunt driver in there? Like, what the hell? Are they?
Dude,
who-
with,
yeah.
and with
who
their
approved
budget
this?
that they had, like they did a lot. They really extended that money. Like they had a
Yeah.
Ferrari. It was
'Cause
Honestly,
they had $6 million, right?
I don't think
Yeah.
Back in
you can
85.
get away with something that looks like this. It looks so real in today's modern era because it's like
No.
the insurance people would not like be like they would
No.
never approve this. People
Yeah.
would be like, they're too concerned about people's safety. They're not going to close out a major freeway in LA. Like this is never happening
Yeah.
again. It's crazy.
Well,
It's
that's
so good.
That's what I like about the director William Friedkin, who unfortunately passed away, I think, last year in 2023. But he would just do shit. Like he wouldn't really go for permits. He just like, let's just fucking
it was
film
the
it.
80s, man. They
Yeah,
did
yeah.
right.
If we get caught, we get caught.
But
Whatever.
I think that a lot of incidents that have happened in cinema have caused it to be like you can no longer do those.
Oh, yeah,
things.
it's
Well,
like
look
because of that
where
fucking
people had
asshole.
actually-
Like,
Well,
look at
people
the Alex
died.
Baldwin situation. That guy's
Yeah,
going to fucking
and that
jail.
wasn't even that crazy,
Yeah.
like compared
It's
to
pretty
like
crazy,
but
but,
compared to like what they're doing now, they
Yeah.
did all the safety
But
measures.
that's happened
everything, and it
before
happens,
with
you
The
know?
Crow. You know, Brandon Lee got killed the same
Yeah,
way.
but that was the
Yeah.
90s.
But
bro.
yeah, like it does go to show like back then they didn't give a shit about safety or laws or
Yeah.
whatever. They were just like, I'm doing this because I gotta film it.
And that goes to show that stuntmen and stunt women don't get enough like credit for what they do because
Yeah.
I'm sure like we're like, damn, this scene was crazy, that's good. And then if we watch like 10 people broke an arm,
Yeah.
5 people broke their neck.
One guy's a paraplegic
Exactly.
now.
You'd
No,
be
yeah.
like,
I've
I don't know if it was
literally,
worth it.
unless you look into it, I feel like you don't find those instances where you're like, wait, what? The stunt double for this person is
Yeah.
like now crippled for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
That
these
happened
scenes.
in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
the-
is unfortunate.
One of
so.
the stunt doubles for what's his name? Harry
Harry?
Potter.
Yeah,
Daniel
Probably.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
So
yeah.
any stunt coordinators, people that are out there, if you're listening, we appreciate,
appreciate
you.
you.
We can't get movies like this
Yeah.
or anything without
Dude,
you
And
guys.
we
so-
shouldn't if it means that.
No.
Because there was that scene where the car like literally is racing the fucking train,
Yeah.
and they just bust over, and like you see the people just smash like
Yeah.
within the car like that. That's painful.
No,
That's
all of that is-
super difficult.
All
That's
of that
crazy.
is pain
Yeah.
that builds up over
Yeah.
time.
And one of the previous podcasts, I think in the Predator, you were talking about how Fast and Furious, like the way they film and they've progressed, it's just like it sucks because they can't be what they used to be, and they can't
Mhm.
be something like this, which is like a real car
yeah,
chase.
Yeah, you can't really do the car chase. Also, the way that the editing style is for like a lot of those films, they've film like a huge action sequence, but it's like cut up into so many small little bits. It doesn't even look realistic. It doesn't even look like I feel like it takes me out of the action. Like I'm like, where this, it's a whole prolonged scene. It's literally showing, and you're like, holy, like they're actually doing this out there, and it's crazy, and it kind of grounds you, and it works really well for this.
Yeah, and it feels so real. And I was telling Nick too, like I was like, dude, I think I was holding my breath like throughout the entire thing because it was so
it gave
tense
me
for
anxiety, bro, for sure.
Yeah, no.
But it reminds me of another movie called Bullitt with Steve McQueen, and they have like another really excellent car chase.
Yeah, he
in there
drove
too.
that thing too. He didn't give a fuck. He was.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he was. He was a driver, wasn't he?
I think he was a Formula One.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And William Friedkin again, he just really knows how to add tension in his films. Because if you remember in Sorcerer, when they were trying to go through that bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember
it's
how
that
quiet
same-
we were the entire time watching that.
Like it's insane. But I think that's one of the best car chase scenes in film history.
And
in my opinion.
I'm glad we got into some of the cool stuff already right away, but I would like to take a little bit of a step back to give a brief synopsis at least and kind of explain what the movie's about. If you can.
It's kind of complicated, wasn't it? Because it was, I mean, it's a cop whose partner gets killed by this dude who does counterfeit money, played by Willem Dafoe.
Named Frank Masters.
Yeah. And Frank Masters, I think it wasn't Frank Masters.
Is it Frank Masters?
Eric Masters.
Rick Masters.
Rick Masters.
There you go.
And he has this personal vendetta against them, and they've been trying to get after his ass for years, but they just can't.
And the thing is, I don't think he was even that clever or like slimy.
No, I eventually I want to talk about how fucking stupid everybody is in this movie.
I don't know.
Absolutely fucking stupid. Like I would make so much fucking money if I was against any of these people.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that the characters in this movie, I wouldn't say that they're likable.
Can we just talk about how this wasn't really written all that great? Like it was shot really great. They had a lot of good scenes, but like there's too many plot holes.
Like the dialogue was kind of like really camp. It was really cheesy.
They really went for they really went for like the Arnold fucking.
Yeah.
We talked about it too. I mentioned it to you, Alexis. We always end up sitting close to each other, so it always feels weird when I keep saying like, "Oh, you mentioned it to me," but It's really weird to me that a lot of these things, like when you look at it now, watching this movie in today's day and age, you're like, fuck, it's so cheesy. But it's like, what if in '85 this was like, whoa, that's so badass. Yeah. So it's like,
profound.
So it's like we're over here judging it because we're like, we've seen 10 other films that.
No, exactly. It's cheesy now because we've seen it a million times.
But what if that was number 1 or 2 or 3? It's
also like dated compared to like how people talk now. But I remember you mentioned it specifically. One of the scenes where he's like, he looks back at his new partner and he's like, what are we talking about here, amigo? And then you were like, oh my god, that's so cringy. And I agree, like it kind of is, but it's like you think about it.
But you think of other old movies like Roadhouse, for example. Like I could watch that shit all the time. With Swayze, like it's not like they don't go for that. Man. You know what I'm saying? They don't focus on like the corniness, and maybe it's luck what gets corny and cheesy over years. But
the thing, I think movies like Roadhouse, they don't focus on this super cheesy 80s stuff. Like this movie really did a lot of like they try to go for the one-liners,
Yeah.
Like
but again, like what was it trying, or is it just that's just what the vibe was,
I think he was trying, man. I think honestly I think it was badly written.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Action heroes at the time, I feel like we're not focusing on their dialogue. Like we're not really caring too much what is
like
actually
Arnold,
happening.
like literally Arnold and Predator.
Yeah, that's exactly. We literally just had this conversation last time. It's like,
but I at least feel that Willem Dafoe was like the highlight of the film.
No, he was.
He was really to good. Me. He wasn't like intimidating, but he was kind of slick.
Willem Dafoe gave
he was slimy.
He was slimy.
He gave mad femme energy to me in like a really good way, like Loki. Like he reminded me of Loki.
No, he didn't, man.
No, dude, straight up. Like I think like the way that he was with his the fact that we at first thought he was kissing a dude. We're like, oh shit. We were like, wow, very progressive for 85. And it's like, it's
because she was lesbian. It turns out the whole time.
Right. Well, I think she's bi. I think she was.
No, she thought that he was giving the femme energy too. So he obviously.
This is George talking about other women's sexualities.
No, but I can see what you're saying when you're bringing up that point.
Because I mean, he was very much like, and you know what? Like also, he was pretty badass for how he stood up to anybody. Like it almost seemed like he was so comfortable knowing that like he's like I might get hit or whatever. But
he definitely carried himself well.
Yeah,
like he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't like fucking stupid with his like he was like very to the point. Like just give me what I want, and that's it.
Yeah, and he wasn't like he was the opposite of the cop. The main character, because he was a hothead. The
He
entire
was.
time he's just like
Well,
doing
when your
things
partner dies on the line of fire.
It wasn't just his partner, okay?
He was my best friend for 7 years, man.
For 7 years.
You
Yeah,
didn't lose your partner, I did.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That whole scene. Oh my god. But no, it's so funny because it's like the total opposite. He's over there fucking breaking
Dude,
briefcases.
in the
to
beginning of the
open-
movie, he's like kicking every fucking door. Like,
Literally,
he really
I
doesn't
was-
need to. He doesn't even know how to open a door.
You know
I
what-
love
you know what's
showing that he doesn't open doors with kicking.
The funniest scene was he was trying to storm out of the district attorney's
Oh
office.
yeah,
He's like, get back in here, and then he just
I want to talk about that one eventually. Yeah.
No, and then William Dafoe's character is over there just all cool,
Willem.
calm, and collective.
Willem.
Whatever.
fucking slinging
But
cock.
there's
Like,
that, and then there's that scene where he's like, we got to burn all the money because it's no good
It's
anymore.
no good.
It's tainted.
And
then
he's naked.
And then Nick's like, what? He's burning it. Why is he burning it? But it's like, it's a valid point. He's being very like.
well he
cautious.
just loves burning
smart.
things.
I think he's an
That too.
arsonist too.
He's an arsonist.
For
yeah.
sure.
I think,
he is.
I think he was like, you know what? I need to get rid of this money. I'm gonna do my favorite pastime: burning shit.
Burning shit in
While
the nude.
completely naked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are his two favorite pastimes: being
But
naked and burning.
also for
things.
being so calm and collected, you think he'd be a lot smarter about the way he
well,
went about
they're
it.
they're
Mhm.
both stupid. Like number one is keeping the fucking body of the partner or whatever there. Like why would you dump it there? and
They
not,
left it there for days.
yeah, like you had 2 fucking days to just find another spot in Lancaster to just dig a hole, and it never would have been found. One, like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And like, even just the premise, like, I mean, I'll get into a little stupidities now. The premise of the partner who died, I forget what his name was, but
Irrelevant because they never say.
yeah,
his
well,
name.
he's only part of like the first fucking 10 minutes of the movie. Why? Like, I understand, and we talked about why like they didn't involve anybody else. Why Chance didn't involve anybody else in his scheme to get the 50K, right? It was like, well, you clearly did something illegal, and now on top of that, you got the FBI agent killed because of it. And so you can't, like,
You
at this point,
dumb
you've
son
gone
of a
too
bitch.
far. Now you got to commit. It's just you two against the world. But the other agent had no fucking reason to drive so far away like Lancaster by himself to a place where he suspects a wanted criminal to be doing illegal
Yeah.
activity.
Days before his retirement.
Yeah, like, how do you get that
It's
far? and
always
you're-
right before
2
the
days.
I needed to capture Eric Masters.
right before I'm gone, man. Right
Like-
Yeah,
before.
do one more. One
That
more.
that's just bad writing. Like, that is just like, oh, I need a motivation, and it's quick. And I'm not saying, like, I will say, like, we watched other movies from this director and he's great. But,
Yeah.
but
But
this
No,
was-
because I think it was filmed fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's
there were-
incredibly
they-
filmed,
It
yeah.
was. They had beautiful angles, beautiful setting. Everything was like, I think
Those POV shots, man, that put you like right in there. It was incredible.
like that cock shot when he was at.
Damn, bro.
We'll get back to that. Who mentioned No Country for Old Men?
I did.
You
Yeah,
did.
he brought it up.
It's interesting because I feel like like this guy that the partner that died, it's like the opposite, or these guys that are fucking dying, these cops, it's like the opposite of Tommy Lee Jones' character, where they want to get that glory.
Well, Tommy Lee was also like right at the retirement, right?
Yeah,
was
he was right at the
he's like, I'm gonna
retirement.
retire. I'm gonna
but
let
that
it
Tommy Lee's
ride out."
character was a perfect example of what that cop should have been, when he was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to that. And like, that was what apparently his partner had originally said. He's like, I want to retire. So if you want to retire to do the dumbest fucking thing you could do,
Mhm.
it's just,
At
just
least-
doesn't make any
At
sense.
least calling your partner. Just calling your partner and
Yeah.
go together.
Yeah.
It's like solo.
So, hey,
really?
back me up.
You're right
And
off
if-
the trail.
all the way
I
in Lancaster.
You know how it works. Like, if you're trying to be like, I'm solo because I'm staking out, cool, that's all you do. And then it's the fucking trope is, I gotta go in. I won't have another chance
No,
like this.
I think if they would have explained that a little bit better, where it's like, hey, it's a time sensitive thing, so I can't call for backup. I got it's now or never. Then maybe. But they didn't show that. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, this is a very fast-paced movie.
And I also didn't like the fact at the beginning of the movie when they were doing the stakeout at the lawyer's house, nobody got shit for that. I'm like, the dude fell asleep. If you would have,
Oh, I know,
if you would
dude.
have
They
been up,
fucked up
Yeah,
so
they-
bad.
like if you
They
would have been
were
up,
both
he
mad.
would have seen fucking Masters go in and fucking
Yeah.
shoot the lawyer and.
well, it was the rookie partner.
Well, I don't
He-
even.
the-
I
the
think
rookie
I have
partner
a
fell
feeling
asleep.
Masters came in from the back. Like, I think.
I don't know, the way that building was set up, there was no way to get
It seems like he's always going in through the back. You know what I
he
mean?
is. He's a backseat boy.
Yeah.
while filming everything.
Everything. Yeah.
And burning shit at the same time.
No, but you're right. These cops were idiots, man. Like
Yeah.
like all of them. They kept making so many like rookie mistakes.
No protocol.
No protocol. They're causing like millions of dollars in damages to the city of LA.
Oh, and then when he lets his key witness or the guy that's in prison.
Oh yeah,
get
John
away.
Turturro. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
Carl Cody.
don't worry. He's like, he's on me, and that's my word.
Yeah.
He won't get away immediately.
And
Right
then
after
immediately
he
gets kicked in the balls, and then he
Thunder
skips.
claps him in the
Yeah.
ears. He goes, "Gah!"
Dude, he had some combos.
Didn't
man.
even check if that girl that he mentioned was his actual daughter.
Oh yeah.
Turns out she's like completely unrelated person.
Well, because all he did was ask, "Is there a person who?"
That's why.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
do your due diligence. Like, all right, is there someone that's related to so and so? Blah blah. There, it's his daughter. Wouldn't that be on record? Or
Oh,
something?
you know, it was another shit when William Dafoe went to go like talk to the gang leader that he sent.
Oh yeah.
The guys were clearly winning the fight out of nowhere. William Dafoe and the other guy would beat. the
I
shit
know.
out of him.
I know. Yeah, he had a weird lackey with him, the tobacco spitting dude.
Oh yeah, the creepy looking
The
dude.
creepy,
right?
Jack.
very creepy looking.
I
Dude.
think he was just the dude that worked at the.
No, yeah, he was. I think he was like his bodyguard essentially.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
was his goon.
It
Yeah.
was his main guy.
Mhm.
You know, there was a lot of this movie was like I think really set the precedence for a lot of different 80s and then like future action films. Like I don't know, it gives me super mad like Starsky and Hutch vibes too.
Interesting.
Like
yeah.
as a buddy cop
Oh no,
type
yeah.
thing.
I can see that.
Like
Yeah.
because like I mean that's all it is an 80s recreation of a lot of stuff. A lot of like you know cool car chase type scenes in Starsky and Hutch. But I just think like and just like being gung ho, right? Just being like I don't have time to play by the book and I can't do any of this shit the right way. Like I have to go out of my way to find and solve this case by myself. Like it seems like I don't know, like even understanding like the idea and motivations of glory and wanting it, it just it's all for nothing if at the end of the day you just end up either A, getting yourself killed, or B, end up killing the person who you're supposed to be putting behind bars. There is no point in being focused on catching the bad guy at any expense to the point where all of a sudden you're gonna die or you're gonna end up killing him. Like look, like I know we all have this thing. It's like I'm gonna murder the enemy of my enemy or my enemy or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be a cop. Your goal and your motivation should be put him away, right?
yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. No, I mean it just this film just shows this cycle of revenge and violence that just keeps going on and
Well, you know what? I think it might be a little bit more realistic to what would happen in real life. I feel like someone might get corrupted and be willing to do something at no matter the cost, even
Training
if it costs,
day.
Yeah.
if it costs them their own life, or if they don't even ultimately get what they want, just because they're so fueled by rage and like anger that they're not thinking things logically.
You know, one thing I've been thinking and kind of going in my head, like I know I kind of even made fun at the very beginning of the film how Chance uses his like little power stance to like point his gun. And it's just like, what kind of fucking what?
His tight ass fucking jeans.
He just
he
went
had
for
his
like
heels
with his
on, too.
heels.
He's like, what's the sexiest way I
His
can fucking
leather
point this gun
jacket.
right now?
Yeah,
Right?
he's just pointing the gun.
Yeah. I don't know if they meant for him to have that kind of sex appeal, but
But I think to go,
he was like a
I think
sex machine.
it was
man.
the jeans for you, Alexis.
But
You're like,
it's
are
the
those
jeans.
5'11s?
But
I
when
don't know.
you-
Is it just me? Is it just me?
All right, those 501s are fitting tight.
Oh my god.
but when you look at things like that, I think like genuinely that's just like a sign of the difference of the times, right? Like nowadays, if you're playing someone who's doing sports, you want to show that your actor knows the moves, knows how, the terminology, is like an expert at it. If you're doing someone who's a martial artist, or like John Wick, we clearly see that people hate when people hold guns the wrong way or don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck they're doing. Like they just get like dissected to hell by people who are
Actually-
either quote unquote experts or really experts.
You bring up a pretty good point there, because I think nowadays when we have action films that are like this, the main protagonists they look perfect. They do
Yeah,
everything
they have to.
perfectly. They're super trained and all that. But then when you see a movie like this, like these guys, they
weren't told to do that. They weren't asked
but
to do
but
that.
but
too.
they look like regular guys, and
Yeah.
to me it's more believable seeing these dudes.
Well,
do
no, yeah,
something
the
dumb
amount
like
of times cops nowadays do some fucking crazy shit, I believe it.
that. Yeah,
You know, like-
because I see that they're acting upon emotion versus training.
Yeah.
you know?
I think this movie also didn't really want to focus on like one extreme of like the training because they didn't have the budget. They just wanted to like.
yeah.
I think this movie's like ultimate purpose is just to be a good movie you can watch in an hour and a half. And
well, it's just like I mean, like I said, we're getting into training in that aspect, but like think about like cartoons nowadays. Like I forget who I was talking to, but like Rick and Morty, for example, or like other like cartoons hiring legitimate biologists, scientists, chemists to explain shit just because they're like, we know nowadays people fucking like it when you get it right.
But nowadays, the that's a lot easier to figure out because I'm like, how easy it is to Google like a fact from Rick and Morty.
Correct. It's not only easy for like the mass public to know that, so they're like, wow, you didn't do your homework. But I think it's just a sign of what I'm saying is like in the 80s, the general public did not care. They probably cared the amount like, and you could see by the effort that they put into the car scene. because they were like, we know what a car movie
Yeah.
is supposed to look like, a car chase is supposed
Well,
to look like.
what he did was
That
he gave
matters.
us an experience.
Yeah,
with
but
that.
I agree with what Nick is saying, but I also do believe that, like, think about it like this. In the 80s, I feel like when they're making a movie like this, they want the general mass appeal, and they also, it's a blockbuster. It's not like anyone has...
No, this wasn't
home-
a blockbuster.
Well, I mean,
$6
like,
million budget.
doesn't matter. They don't have home streaming. Like, a general audience will go see this.
Yeah.
Now it's like everything is in subcategories for specific audiences because, I mean, media as a whole, we have so many different platforms for people now that you can
Yeah.
kind of create anything for those little cultures that are like, oh, they do care about technicalities. They
But-
care about holding guns. They care about whatever the science behind those things.
Mhm.
So
But I
Yeah.
think
back then it didn't fucking matter. It's like, as long as it appeals to everyone.
Yeah, as long as it
Does
looks
it look cool?
It looks good, which
Yeah.
is exactly what this movie did. It doesn't even matter how well written it was, like to your point,
Yeah.
Isaac, and everything. It's just
Yeah.
it's about how good you can make it look and how sick some of the scenes can
I
be shot.
think this movie was designed more for like a VCR rental. Like you're gonna go home. You might watch at the movie theaters, and then
Mhm.
like the guy at the Blockbuster is gonna recommend this movie to you because it's like, hey man, you've probably seen all the major stuff already at the theaters.
Yeah.
There's a little like kind of indie movie that's kind of cool with Willem Dafoe
Yeah, this definitely isn't high art, but it was shot like
it was shot amazingly.
You really keep going back to it. You love that.
Yeah.
Dude, like if I could take a picture of that like in real life,
There are a lot of frames in this movie that you could just like
you could definitely just hang.
you could put it in a frame. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Speaking of hanging, there's one thing that this movie does that others don't,
I know.
and
William Dafoe.
they really focus on the male form.
Which
you
you know,
know?
Yeah,
what is
no.
is really probably super refreshing for people in the 80s.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think it was though because in the 80s, like it was all about muscle and shit. So I think they tried to
Yeah.
recreate that, but with just normal
But
people.
but I think that's
Right.
that's what's probably refreshing.
Normal
I mean, it's the
looking
same thing
people.
as like
Yeah.
if you talk about like movies nowadays or like main actresses or main actors where it's like everybody has to have a refined body too.
yeah,
And you just see someone with a dad bod doing more shirtless scenes rather than like a Zac Efron opposite him or something. Like actually like Seth Rogen and I think Neighbors. I recently watched that movie again with my girlfriend, and like Seth Rogen ends up fucking like shirtless in a bunch of random scenes just as much, if not equally opposite, Zac Efron.
Oh, Zac Efron.
And I'm just like, oh, you know what? Like they're giving their fan service to whoever Zac Efron fans are, and then they're making the rest of us just laugh at Seth Rogen's fat fucking body, Which
Hey, you put some respect on that,
hey,
man.
I love
all
that
right?
man, But I think at the end of the day, is like that's what we didn't get any of it in the 80s. You had to look like Pamela Anderson if you were a woman, and you had to look like fucking I don't
Arnold
even
and
know.
Stallone.
Arnold and
yeah.
Stallone.
And that's kind of like the middle part.
Yeah.
Of this. Like
But-
again, this movie I feel it was designed to go on to like
Yeah.
to go to tape because you're not gonna compete with Arnold and fucking Stallone in the 80s. Man, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
And they were
Yeah.
popping out movies every year. This is like your filler movie in between. That's gonna fill in the time to people to go watch a movie or even watch
Yeah.
at home.
But regardless, it was a good watch.
Yeah.
I think that I enjoyed it, especially my first time viewing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Especially seeing that dong, right?
Yeah.
they didn't
Alexis
show
wants to
William
go back.
Dafoe's dong.
I'm
They should've.
trying to talk about the dongs, guys.
Dude,
and
I
you
should've.
guys keep
I
going
wasn't
something
expecting
else.
that cock shot like full frontal.
No.
Like you
Yeah, I
were
mean,
right.
With
he,
that-
he played with the silhouette in a way
Look,
which was
guys.
it was more tasteful for sure.
That's what's crazy is that they did a scene where you literally see his penis. You see it,
Yeah.
and you see his balls, and then this girl's
No,
naked,
It
and
was a prosthetic, bro. It was a prosthetic.
dude,
There's no way.
he's straight up going on top of her.
But
Did they actually show his dong? That's
Yes,
a real dong?
dude.
It's a
Yes,
$6 million movie. You think they had money for like a $10,000 prosthetic, dude?
Just put a little sock with something on it. I don't know.
No, but like
No, no, you
props
saw it hang.
props to the actor William Peterson, who he was like he's on
He was
CSI a lot,
He was
but
confident to have
but
that.
bro,
That's why he
he
was
had the
stuck on
swagger.
CSI after.
They're like, yeah, no, we can't put you in anything
Yeah.
major.
and Willem Dafoe too, he would just get naked,
He
like.
he
But
likes showing his ass.
William- yeah, there was
Willem
that-
Dafoe likes being naked.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Yeah.
just
Everybody
like.
was naked in like
A
the
lot of
male
people were
locker
naked.
room. Was
Yeah.
like, there was like 8 dudes that were
yeah,
naked in there.
and that's what I appreciate is that the director wasn't like, I only want to see naked women. It's like, no,
No,
I want to
yeah.
see everybody naked.
He's like, I want to see everybody.
Yeah, dude, hey, you know what? You love what you love, and you like what you like.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. And side note, but did you guys notice that Robert Downey Jr.'s dad was in this movie?
Yeah, senior.
Yeah, Robert Downey
Yeah.
Sr.
Wait,
He-
what character did he play?
He was the boss. Not the DA we got boss, but the
Prosecutor?
no,
No,
he
like
was
the-
one of the cop, like the
like the
captain
actual
or
boss,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
one that
okay.
was citing the code to him.
Yeah,
That he
code 3.15.
It was It was 3025.
I thought it was 305.2, but I don't know. I actually was serious.
George is like, there was a number?
2.5. No, that's I remember. That's
It
what
was 90 real 92.3.
Get the fuck out of town.
94.7 The Wave.
I don't know why, but the prosecutor was weird. The guy he's like,
Dude, when he came
When
in
he-
walking, that shit was hilarious.
yeah, when they were arguing, and he's like, hey, come back here, And then he's like, all right, I'll sign it. And
No,
I was like, what the fuck?
He walks in
Let's
like a
get to that
disgruntled
scene.
little kid.
I thought that scene was fucking hilarious. I think
I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't take him
Alexis
seriously.
was also talking about like kicking. I think this movie does a great shot and really shows its budget by not reshooting a goddamn thing. It's like I'm gonna kick the door this one, okay?
No, no,
Just
no.
Fucking bounces right off of it.
What he did was he tried to open the door, but he put the handle up, so it didn't fucking open. And then
Yeah.
I think he tried to kick it and open it right. So he
No, but
fucked
I'm talking
up.
about even like the first scene where he just randomly kicks the door, and then when they're trying to open the hangar door, they're like, "Oh my god, there it is! Move, fuck!" And just like,
Hey man, they only had the fucking site for an hour. They gotta do that.
Exactly.
shit,
You're
right?
like-
Film was expensive.
you
back
gotta
then.
wonder how many fucking shots they scrapped if that's what they put in.
That freeway,
but I like that.
That freeway probably took like $3 million.
Dude, that was
It
probably
was
most
pretty
of
lengthy
it.
too. How long was the film?
It was
like
like
an hour.
a little under 2 hours.
Was it? It felt
Yeah.
like it was
Can we
two.
look that up?
But I feel like they probably cut out so many things.
Yeah,
out of this
hour
film.
56.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 116 minutes. Yeah.
No, that's not bad. It's not bad. It didn't feel that lengthy, but
Yeah.
like I do feel like there's certain things that they probably like, scrap it, we don't need it. But now it like the plot's like I feel like there's something missing.
It's like we need something ginormous. So I'm reading a fact here that says it took 6 weeks over the course of 3 weekends to film, causing the film to go from 1 million over budget.
That was
and
just the
and the
car scene.
freeway was closed for 4 hours at a time.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Jesus
But that's, I mean,
Christ.
you know what? I didn't even know that he did the French Connection.
I haven't seen the French Connection.
Yeah, I mean, and that one's super heavy on car scenes and stuff.
Really, you've
Yeah.
seen it?
I've seen clips of it a lot because my brother was really into cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was way too young to watch this movie,
Yeah.
but I remember when I was young watching these scenes and stuff with him and like recaps of it. But yeah, it's really really good. Like you could tell even with what we talked about
Yeah.
too with Sorcerer, like you can tell he puts a lot of effort into showing like really cool car scenes that bring a lot of anxiety and bring a lot of like
Mhm.
emotion without even having to say a word or add really background music. So that's really cool.
Were there any car scenes in The Exorcist?
Um,
No.
I mean,
I can't believe you
Wait,
filmed that.
fucked up.
Completely
Fucked
different
All right.
type of
I know.
film.
Alright, besides the car scene, let's talk about because we all like the car scene, and
Yeah.
it arguably
Everybody does.
it's arguably the best scene in the movie besides the cock shot. What is your favorite scene, Alexis?
Favorite scene aside from that?
Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's like the best.
mine's so easy.
Yeah.
I'll skip over you. The DA scene. That was the fucking best. I wanted to talk about it with my thing, but yeah, just the idea, like the stupid ridiculousness of him like having a fucking childish outbreak, and then him be like, "Get back here!"
He's like, you didn't lose a partner.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
"This is one of your cronies. You'd sign it." What?
And the guy's internal thoughts like, yeah, I guess he's right.
God damn it,
Maybe I
he's-
should bring him back. Get over here.
I could tell this
Come
guy's
back
got a
here.
Get
fat
over
wiener.
here.
He gave him a big old smooch when he came in. He was,
Mwah.
all right, here you go.
Don't disappoint me, kid.
All right,
Don't
Alexis.
lose him. He's like, I won't. I'll give you my word.
He's like, he
Loses
loses
him
it like 10 minutes later.
immediately.
Fuck. Nah, my favorite scene would probably be where he gets his fucking head blown off. That came out of
yeah.
the first time I saw it came out of nowhere. I was so shocked because
I honestly was thinking that the other guy was gonna die.
he should have.
I wanted him
he was,
to
He was
die.
kind of boring.
I honestly was
Yeah,
like, that
but
guy fucking sucks.
It's
He's vanilla.
It's rare
for sure.
to see the main protagonist just get killed off like that.
Yeah.
Just like boom, you're dead.
No.
And you know what?
Nonchalant.
Nowadays, it's kind of like what we crave. Like I feel like myself in media, at least, and anything that I absorb is like I've talked about like TV shows I like. Like I loved Game of Thrones up until the end.
Loved past tense.
The big reason, well, I mean, because I'm no longer watching it. But the big thing that I enjoyed about movies like shows like Game of Thrones is mainly the idea that you don't know what's gonna come. You know, there's no like
Oh, yeah.
trope that everything's falling into, that it's very obvious that it's like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen and the main character is going to win somehow again
Mhm.
or whatever. No, nobody's safe. And like, so I can't imagine how shocking this must have been back in the 80s to be like, wait, what? Luke Skywalker doesn't win? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad they killed him off because he was a douchebag, and
Yeah.
he was just like
He just kept getting worse and
He
worse.
was so like I didn't want him to win
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Isn't it funny
I was
how
not
it's
rooting
like-
for him.
Like, but the funny part is you say that, but like most of us during the middle of the movie were like, God, I fucking hate his partner. And it's like, why? Because he follows the law. And
He's the only
and
good
he's
cop.
properly trained. Like what?
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm third generation cop.
Yeah.
No, that whole scene too. That he goes to the lawyer that's working with RM or whatever, and then he's like, look, man, this is what you got to do. You're gonna do some time. You're gonna turn your
Hey,
partner in.
7 years, you only do a year and a half, but I can't be
On
directly
good behavior.
involved.
Yeah.
I can't be directly.
How much to get directly involved? 50,000. He doesn't hesitate whatsoever. Immediately.
He's like, I don't know if justice is enough.
No, but then also he's like, I'm not gonna turn my partner in. I can't do that. It's like you fucking hate him. What do you mean? Like
He's like,
you
I can't
literally
even
don't
not
like
to
that
drive.
guy.
Code. It's the code.
No, I know, but it's like immediately you would think he's gonna turn his partner in because he's
Yeah.
like,
I
fuck
don't-
that guy. I don't
I
even
don't know,
like
George.
him,
You're kind of a piece of shit. You're not following the code over here, man.
Yeah, bro.
dude. I get.
George would be the fucking
No,
snitch.
but
wouldn't
what
he?
I'm saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the guy was so like pro rules that's when he chooses to break the rule to defend his partner when he's like clearly doesn't
Speaking-
give a shit. He's like, I will follow the rules the entire time.
I mean, you know, snitches get stitches. And speaking of that, I did want to talk about John Turturro in this movie more because, I mean, I'll say it, you know, he did great. Like, I haven't seen him in a serious role. Like, you pointed out the Batman.
The
and
Batman.
That's how much, like, I feel like I don't associate him with serious roles that I forgot he played Falcone in that movie.
I just remember him as a guy from Transformers.
Literally, he plays
I
silly
don't even
fucking
remember
asshole in
that.
He's
Transformers.
like Sector 7.
He's silly, yeah. Are you username ladies man 217? I love saying that shit out loud, but no, what's it called? You know, every role that he plays, even like my favorite, one of my favorites is Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh my god!
I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, I love that one too.
I don't like it.
What the
Shut
fuck?
the
You don't like
fuck up.
Master of Disguise? You
I
don't like
did-
Don't Mess with the
I didn't
Zohan?
watch these movies when I was a kid. You guys saw them growing up. I did it. I was
Dude,
like,
if
my
I
parents
watch-
didn't let me watch these things. Okay, I have resentment towards you guys.
Resent them, bro. I didn't raise you.
I don't-
nah.
He doesn't- he
They
doesn't
were
eat
right. They were
hummus.
right. After looking at them and watching them, I was like,
Dude, fuck it.
Hey, you know what? I'm just saying.
Zohan.
Three of us.
Muchetuchi?
How many Muchen chains are you
Maybe,
gonna
maybe
get?
that should be our next one.
Dude, yeah.
But no, like this movie, he fucking. Well, first of all, like I know that's his actual voice now, but like his voice seems so young and like alive, and it just was refreshing.
It was
that
before
way, too.
Hollywood really tried to put it in his
Yeah,
ass. dude.
Fucked
or
with
whatever
him.
the fuck he was, whether he smoked or is just age that like deepened his voice. But then on top of that, like his attitude throughout it was like real. Like he felt like one of the most like grounded and down to earth characters in the film.
Mhm.
Like like you argue how Willem Dafoe did a really good job throughout the film, and I agree. But again, he still plays such a like non like attainable character. Like
Nah,
whether
I
you,
didn't think he played that great.
I think he did a good job, but
I feel like compared to like his other better roles, like other roles that he's been in, where it's like,
Who, Dafoe?
yeah, I don't.
Well,
think
yeah,
his-
I mean, this is-
I don't think this is a good performance.
Yeah, but this is one of
young
his
Dafoe, though.
earliest.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is young Dafoe. Like,
Well,
Well,
and
he's
that's
30 at this point. Was that one of his first movies?
I think this may have been one of his like first 5 films that he did or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, it's pretty good. I like it.
and I think you're also comparing somebody who's like you know their peak is astronomically better than
His
this.
peak of Spider-Man too. Let's
Well, what-
Spider-Man 1.
I mean, he did fantastic in Spider-Man.
Yeah, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like he's a
kinda hard
critically
to top that.
acclaimed, you know, like
Just
award-winning
putting this out there, I saw him in person.
Yes, and Alexis
It
has
was, his,
sucked
it
his
was within
penis.
his first
You never
10
failed to
movies.
remind us, Alexis.
It was within his first 10. It was like number 8.
It's a peak of my life. All right.
Yeah, and I think that and look, it's within his first 5 years of
Oh, there it is.
of acting.
you
And
know what?
so-
You know what? I'm sad that he
That
didn't
is,
do.
it's his 9th film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty
he did
good.
Platoon after this?
He did
Oh,
do Platoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his like
Yeah.
peak to Platoon.
No,
was
dude,
like,
this Spider-Man, dude. Come on, get it together.
I mean,
Spider-Man's
Platoon
the
is
best.
one of the best fucking.
What about when he
movies.
played Jesus? I've never seen Platoon.
What was? You've never seen Platoon?
I've never seen Platoon.
shit.
Yeah.
What?
I have to.
Dude,
Yeah.
Platoon is fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of things. we can watch.
Alexis, go take a fucking lap. You seen some of this weird Japanese shit that I don't know how the fuck he came up with it, but you haven't seen Platoon?
I
He's
haven't
not
seen
huge
Platoon.
on war movies, that's why.
Yeah.
That's
But like, it's a
Yeah.
fantastic one.
But going back to the movie, like I was saying,
yeah,
those,
sorry.
I,
He was in Speed too.
God fucking damn it.
Hey, you know what? It sucks that he wasn't that great in fucking Death Note when he did the live action.
Well,
He was
no,
he was the best part of Death Note.
No, I know, but I think
think
that
he
he
likes
could have
to
done
put-
such a better like job if the writing in that fucking movie was
Right.
better.
Yeah, he has some
But
real
like,
bombs.
I
in
mean,
there.
he's playing a fucking
He does everything.
like a demigod.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
perfect role. That's
he was
right
in
up his
Once
alley.
Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh yeah, he was.
Wasn't he?
Oh, you know, he was also in Mr. Bean's Holiday.
All right, moving forward. Nobody wants to talk about
All right, whatever,
Yeah,
Nick.
you know.
So, hey, wait, we got lost. So we were talking about scenes.
What are we
Isaac,
talking about?
what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, honestly, was the locker room interaction. It was
Oh,
so.
when they're
it,
getting butt naked.
was like so fucking stupid. Like, why are these guys like entertaining this in a locker room? Like, why is this fucking gym the concentration of where they're gonna make this business deal? Where there's fucking like 20 other people in the room hearing this illegal activity that's going down.
Well, it's because if he's gonna make a partner out of these guys, he needs to see them naked. They need to be as close.
I think
as
it was a way to
possible.
check their wire, making sure that they don't have a wire from.
Oh,
the
he was
get-go.
checking their wires.
You want to see what gauge
He's
that
like,
shit was?
he's.
Jeez.
But
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
George, did you have a favorite scene?
Yeah, no, actually, what I think I really enjoyed was the intricacies of when he's actually printing the money. That scene was like really
Yeah,
cool because
that
it's
was
like
really cool.
you're looking at it and you're like, oh, like this guy actually knows what the fuck he's doing. Like the
Yeah.
scene's depicted so well where you're like, this is believable. This is
Yeah.
exact. Like he's a master of his craft at doing that. That's probably why he hasn't gotten caught because the money's so
He's
good.
just so damn good.
Yeah, and it was just they're showing every little bit of the process, and like I'll let you do the little fun fact. But
Yeah, like I was telling you guys earlier, the director actually hired like an ex-con that did this for his crimes, essentially, to help him figure out like how to present it and do it. And you know, he was so damn good that he actually did end up using that counterfeit money, and and he never got caught for it.
Damn.
And so he did like an interview like, I don't know, like 30 years after this. I was like, yeah, fucking use that money. Hell yeah, I did. It's out there somewhere.
probably use it to fund this film.
Yeah, I know, right?
He printed out $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, where did you get the money for all this? It was off the books. That's why. That's
Yeah,
why. It
off
didn't,
the books.
How much you say it was like eight million?
It was
6 million.
6 million? Yeah, no, dude.
And it made
The
18
money
of
was 100% printed by him and funded.
Mhm.
Oh, it didn't even go worldwide. It just stayed domestic.
It just stayed domestic.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a
straight to
bummer.
VHS.
I think it would have done
Gators
well.
right.
It would have done well out there.
But one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit too
It
is
did
like,
well on opening too. It literally went to where it made money was VCR.
yeah.
It wasn't
Hey,
like
hey.
Nick was about to
Yeah,
talk.
you
or
talking,
anything.
Nick?
How did you do
Was that something?
domestically and what else?
it just hurts a lot. That's it. But no, I was gonna talk about the portrayal of women in this movie. You know,
It was fucked up, man.
it was. I mean,
Yeah,
the
they
ending
were
was
just
so
used.
The ending was so gruesome.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
let's
think-
get to that.
I think the ending was just like, you know, besides like the misogynistic aspect, it was just like such a way to kill the vibe of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like you went from like this whole idea that all of a sudden you create what you kind of didn't want to be, or you become what you didn't want to be all just to survive
Within
or
a
just
week
to thrive
time.
within a week's time, especially, is like so stupid. And even if you're gonna quote unquote do that, like to make it so that he has to all of a sudden act, talk, look like him.
Dude, he straight up dresses exactly like Richard Chance. Like he stole his
yeah.
wardrobe and was like,
And his
yeah,
truck.
This is
Did you
me
see
now.
that he
Oh yeah,
was driving-
and his
Oh
truck.
wait, I didn't even notice that he took the
and
truck.
then he stole his bitch at the end.
And he's wearing the sunglasses at all times.
Yeah,
no,
and then
he
all of
couldn't
a
hang.
sudden,
He took them off as soon as he got
he
inside.
did take them off.
I did notice that as well. But
Yeah.
then
Dude,
it's
where
so
do you get glasses like
weird
that? It's so
that
fucking
like
dark, dude.
his demeanor and everything changes from being like a dorky, like vanilla guy to just.
And he's got
all
the
of a sudden-
toothpick in his
Yeah,
mouth.
all of a sudden, I told you, he even had the walk and everything. Like all of a sudden, he's all suave.
But
Just-
dude, I have a feeling they just gave him the clothes that the other guy was wearing. Like it's not even fitted to him. It's just like
You know,
it's like oversized
too
on
big,
him.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to point out that I thought it was kind of crazy was like this idea that, you know, I know I called Willem Dafoe like a Loki type character, but one of the like cool things about his character is he did treat his love interest like really well throughout the whole film.
What?
Like he was respectful to her. He never like forced her to do anything. And even when she probably did something like, you know how she seduced the lawyer
Yeah.
and like basically to allow him to get in and then kind of hold him hostage. Like it wasn't like it. I mean, obviously we're speculating here, but it didn't feel like
It definitely felt like that because remember the lawyer said, "Why did you stay so long with him?" Like after,
Yeah.
like he insinuated like he kind of treated her like shit.
But
well,
or
I think
is
it
he
was
saying
more of a
that?
like because he's a criminal and he's clearly like
No,
not.
Well, I was gonna say maybe he said because he knows that she's like she likes women.
oh,
like maybe
that-
she just
that's
specifically-
it too.
No, I
Maybe,
think
I
that
don't
could have been.
Yeah.
But I think like from the scenes that we gather, and you know, these are all really valid points. But the scenes that you gather, you see the difference in how they treat their ladies, right? Like Chance only uses his informants because he knows he has a leg up over them already because he's holding that whole
Yeah.
like golden
He's like,
ticket to getting away.
I'll get you on parole.
Exactly. He's like, you're never
Yeah.
gonna have to worry about getting put away.
Well,
by
I
me
mean, he
again.
just uses her for info and sex.
Yeah, versus
Yeah.
like you see that as much as you can argue that that Rick is it Rick, right? Yeah, Rick Masterson, that he does the same exact
I
thing.
thought it was Eric.
It is Eric's his name. His they call him Rick though.
Yeah.
But you can argue the same thing for Rick, but it's the same way as like you feel like a positive I guess like portrayal of sexualizing a woman versus a negative one. Like in one, he's like celebrating her body, he's kissing her, he's like touching her sensually, and she's clearly consenting. We literally had a scene where like she's stressing out about the fact that she's gonna be involved in this fucking like murder of an FBI agent, and he just decides to grab her and use her. Like,
And he's just laughing.
and he's laughing the whole time. He's like, "Oh, we got away with
He
it."
has the power, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly, because he knows he's like, it
And
doesn't
then his
matter.
nigga
No,
partner does it
but-
at the end too.
I know.
I think
He's
that
like, I'm gonna start using you now, and then and then it was creepy.
She has a
She has a
flashback.
flashback of like him getting railed
Yeah,
by
and-
the dude and
And
stuff.
she didn't look like she hated that too,
Oh.
which is like, I mean, the trauma these people.
And
fucking
then the
have to go
fucking
through.
80s music was like, yeah.
Hell yeah,
Like, what the
we're
fuck?
doing it.
Like, this
Yeah,
is
no,
not,
it's
this is not okay.
like it was a win for boys.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, what the fuck?
Am I right, guys?
I was like high five.
High five.
Bro, dude, I literally was like felt so uncomfortable with that last. I was like, what? He's just gonna steal his girl and then like coerce her into like having sex with him just because he's like,
Yeah.
you work for me now.
Yeah,
and he had a big old grin on his face. I was like, what the
and just scenes before, even like when he finally killed Masterson and stuff like that, it's like it was so stupid because it's like you got away clean. You went to the warehouse supposedly. Like I even pointed out that like this guy knew that this was his warehouse and he did nothing with that information for so long. He didn't present it to his partner. He didn't present it to the rest, like his commanding officer or anything. He just held on to that information to the very end.
and also like he went to it. He knew what was in there. Why would
Yeah.
It was a lot of negligence.
And the idea too that apparently like I was
Just
shocked.
nobody knows how to do their job.
No.
man.
I think it's also portraying like he was too much of a goody two shoes. He's like, oh, I can't get in there without a warrant. I can't, do all
Right.
this.
But
So I think it's like
but the
you just
thing
keep
is-
going back like, oh no, he abides by the laws.
Yeah,
and
but
he's-
you
he's-
still wouldn't
But
tell
it's
your
not
partner.
that he didn't. Yeah, he could have told his partner because back then when he found that information out, he was fresh to his partner. He had no idea his partner was crooked.
But you didn't
to an
trust him.
extent.
Like I feel like they were still building that.
Well, then why
trust.
would you not give it to your captain? Why would you not give it to like?
or the
Yeah.
the direct supervisor.
Look,
Yeah.
the
I
pencil.
agree. I don't think he was a good cop.
And then-
George, why do you always gotta
and
agree?
that's-
Like disagree with everything we
I
say?
want
man?
to agree with you guys, but
And then-
I'm
He's
trying to
like-
look at it.
But then
from
the
a
other
I'm gonna
perspective,
find the
like-
No, no,
flaw.
but-
I'm gonna look for it.
But the other part to that
No,
though
no.
isn't it's also the same thing with Rick. Like he found out ahead of time from the lawyer that was probably leaking information telling him like these guys are cops because he said he offered you like to turn on him. Why didn't you turn on him? So if he knew right away, rethinking that scene where they're fucking going back into the gym and he's like, don't fucking touch me. Like I had an agreement with your partner and him and fucking Jack are just fighting for a bit until he's like, let him up. It's like clearly he didn't want to get frisked because he had a gun or something concealed. Like he had something on his person.
But he already knew though.
That's my point. It's
Yeah.
like if you already,
He already
know,
knew.
why would you like it? It almost felt like he wanted to die or something.
Maybe
Maybe he wanted to live and
Well,
die.
I don't know.
In LA?
Mm.
Oh.
Damn. We just have a realization.
Yeah.
This-
that's
now
No,
you,
it's not
now
that
you
deep.
do
It's
the
not that
CSI
deep.
Miami song there.
Does
We
he?
get
Did he
copyright
all right. So
strike
what you're saying is like
immediately.
he just knew that it was over. Like his gig was up.
No, I
like-
think he just didn't fucking care. Like, and that's what felt like really stupid to me. Like, this movie was like, I was really enjoying it. Besides the cheesy parts, up until like that last scene.
The last 5 minutes sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
It
he
did leave us,
definitely knew, right?
Like if they would have
oh,
cut it off at him, like you were saying, I wanted Willem Dafoe to win. If they would have cut it off at Willem Dafoe winning, getting away, would have been
Yeah.
a way
See,
different
but see,
ending.
that's what makes me think that you're right. He probably did want to die. Because think about it, he would have stopped the deal. One, and then two, you think he would have gone back to the warehouse and just stayed there to wait for the rookie to come
But
in
I
and
Do,
get
you-
him?
do you guys think that
I-
maybe
I
he
don't
was
think he-
suicidal?
No, I don't think he knew though because if you remember what the captain was saying is like many people have tried getting him and asking for the money and they never went through with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
They had the limit.
they had the limit of the $10,000 and when these guys came in with 30, I'm like these guys are pretty legit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna move with.
So I
move
mean,
forward.
I guess another thought that I'm having is potentially he could have somehow contacted the lawyer and talked to him, and be like, "Oh yeah, these guys were cops," and found out after he was escaping. But that just seems like
He had that much time.
like that's my point. That's my point. Is like his first thought is let me call my lawyer and talk to him about these guys that are trying to like that are cops that are trying to fuck me over right now. Like I don't know. I just think that it doesn't make sense for him to have not known ahead of time and just let it happen anyway.
Again, like we're saying, the writing wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's
But
why it's easier to think that he was suicidal because he kept putting himself in situations where he could have died. Like
Yeah.
he could have died like twice. Once
But I
with
think,
the
but I think he gets off on that. Man. That's-
well,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah, and that's another thing where you
I mean,
see
the same with Chance.
yeah the bungee jumping
The bungee
Yeah.
jumping.
and as he's for some reason during the car chase he thinks back to the bungee jumping like that adrenaline
yeah.
and so yeah like they're all chasing something like unattainable like just to be able to like
Mm.
fucking feel something.
Yeah, no, maybe like Willem Dafoe's character, he just wanted to get that close to like almost being caught but getting away with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And then
it
he
didn't-
met his match.
Yeah,
Made
it
him
didn't
Needle
finally
Needle.
go.
Yeah, but I do feel that Willem Dafoe, if he was gonna, I mean, he did die, but he should have died in a more like dramatic way. Like it would have been cooler if he got killed by chance or like not by his lame ass partner. You know?
Yeah, no, I also thought the partner was gonna die in that scene. And William Dafoe was just gonna be like, all right, I'm burning him to
Wait,
to
but
the ground.
how did he like light up so fast?
Well, because he
there was like lighter fluid on the ground.
Oh, okay.
yeah, because he was gonna burn the dude, and then it fell when he got shot.
Oh, okay.
The flame
I
fell.
missed that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
All right, now we're getting to our letterbox reviews.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, this one's by JProv1024. Again, these are our letterbox friends, so thank you guys for following us back. 5-star. Holy hell, what an adrenaline shot of a film. Loved the cinematography, loved all the insane performances. Sometimes when you give a man a badge and a gun, they're willing to do anything with that power, even if it means infecting those who want to do good. The action scenes were so phenomenal. Also, can we bring back blood squibs? 5 stars.
Oh yeah, the blood squibs. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize what it was, but that's what made it so different with the
Yeah.
gunshots and all those things.
It was just so bloody,
Good catch.
so explosive.
Yeah, good review. Honestly, I mean, I think they didn't focus enough on the bad, but they really got the good perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what's good about it. I don't think there's a little bit of things. Are bad.
I think this is like
ending.
a movie. If you don't really think about it, and you just sit there and like, yeah,
Great.
you know, great,
Yeah, that's fucking sick. Yeah. All right, next one. Suzanne, 3.5 star. She says, I love the style of this movie. The cinematography and score were both top notch. It really was a feast for the eyes in just about every frame. The only thing really holding this back for me is the lead performance from William Peterson. I wish it was more intoxicating, like, for example, James Caan in Thief. 3.5 stars. I thought he was good. I didn't find a problem in his performance personally.
I think he was just cheesy. I think
he was.
we talked about it though. It's like,
But is that his fault?
it's not only.
I think it
not
was
his fault,
inherently bad writing, not the.
Well, not
his
only
performance.
like again, I don't want to just blame the fucking writers. Not that they're alive to even give a shit, but potentially.
You don't know that.
Potentially.
They live off of hate, probably.
But
Well, I mean, all right, listen,
But
not bad.
What I'm not saying is not
Not
that the
that
writing
bad,
is
but-
bad, but I'm also saying like it's period pieces. The same way we talk about with the sexism and racism and other things
Yeah.
in period pieces. Like these are also things that are written in. Sometimes they're a little bit more corny, a little bit more cheesy, but that's like what's in at the moment. So
Yeah.
what can we do?
I don't know.
I think he did great with what he had to work with.
Yeah,
I think so.
for sure.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
for
he-
$6 million. Shit.
Yeah, he really fit in those jeans.
He 100% fit that angry.
He has a nice
demented-
penis.
He's got cheeks. He's got a penis. Well, I mean, what else can you ask for?
Man had vengeance on his mind. And that's it. Nothing
No,
else.
he had a lot of pussy on his mind. And how to extort it.
And how to extort it.
That's all he had on his mind.
All right, this one's by Aaron D. 4.5 stars. He does a quote, or they do a quote, where it says, "Why are you chasing me? Why are you running? Because you're chasing me, man." A cinematic masterpiece, an absolute blast. It's got that very specific 1980s aesthetic I just love. Dafoe's brilliant in the role. Hooked from the beginning. I love that car chase. I once analyzed it at university. Wow, they did a paper on it. Peak noir in LA, and I wouldn't have it any other way. 4.5 stars.
There's nothing much else to say on that.
Yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
that is-
you hit all
Great
the
review.
points.
Yeah.
Good review.
And then this is our last review by Alex T. They give it a 3-star. I thought this was about living and dying in LA, but it's more about a shitty dude who is a cop and is bad at his job.
Yeah.
It really was.
But the guy that was supposedly good,
Good.
as a cop,
He ended up
was
being bad,
also-
too.
Yeah, I'm like, does everyone just get corrupted with like this power?
Being around this guy, yeah.
Well, not just this guy. Like when you get a little hints of power, like immediately
It changes you.
become bad.
Yeah, and then they
Except for
say
Spider-Man.
they say all the stars are for the Wang Chung soundtrack and another star for the fonts. So 3 stars. Hey,
For
solid.
the fonts?
Yeah, in the title sequences they have that neon green font
Reminds
with
me
all
of
the
fucking,
names.
I don't know.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if Grand Theft Auto, like the people that did that game, kind of watched this movie and
Yeah,
got a little bit of the
my-
vibe from it.
I can see it.
I
being
can see that
influenced.
inspiration
Yeah.
for sure.
Because this movie's from '85, and I could see its influence on other things,
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
indirectly or directly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our letterbox friends, and it seems like they liked it.
All right,
So,
on to the review.
Yeah, let's hear you, Isaac. I feel like you might have an opinion.
I give this a 6 out of 10.
Hey, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not
6
bad.
out of 10.
6 out of 10.
That's kind of lower
The-
than I
the-
thought you would.
The last 5 minutes really killed it for me, man.
If it wasn't for the last 5,
did.
it would have been 7. It would have been a 7.
not that much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
What about you,
decent.
George?
I give it a 7. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. First viewing, I enjoyed a lot of the action sequences, cinematography. I thought
And honestly, like if you're a
For-
dude above 40 and you want to watch a chill movie that like This is a movie for you.
This is. I mean, I'm 27 and I enjoyed it. So like, I think it has a place for every every age group.
You're a misogynist.
You fucking pig, Jordan.
No, I think those are the few things that did take me out of it. Like the ending sequence, I'm like, oh, so now he's using her as his own pawn, and
like I feel bad for this woman.
This poor woman was like, I'm leaving the city. He's like, not if I can help it. Just
No,
like,
you're
oh
not.
my god, Jesus Christ. No, I mean that kind of took me out of it. The misogyny, all those little things were like it kind of brought down some points, but everything else I quite enjoyed. The action sequences, I mean, just the anger that this man had, and fuel and rage, and then just like the I mean, just the shooting, all those different things were fantastic. So seven for sure.
I think I'm there with you guys. I mean, I'll give it a little higher, 7.5. But the first time I saw it, I think I would have rated it higher. But after really actually watching it and being like thinking, these guys are like not that good, and like that ending really does kind of like sour the whole movie, unfortunately.
It's a big bummer.
I wish they would have like changed that, but 7.5 for me, because like you said, I mean, everything else is kind of like perfect.
Yeah, for me, I think this is like a solid 7. Because I mean, I was even thinking about going as low as a 6, but that card scene really is.
Yeah,
it
really brings it up. It brings it up.
And I mean, like we again period pieces, right? And other themes like Training Day we talked about, and Training Day is a phenomenal fucking movie, and it's a perfect example of a cop who's like, these people aren't supposed to be fucking good people, and I get that. Like, I don't think any of us are so stupid that we think like, oh, cops have always need to be portrayed as good people, and that's why we don't like this film. It's like, no, my problem is they're just stupid. And they made stupid choices consistently throughout the film. I mean, you know what?
I was rooting for William Dafoe the entire time.
Yeah, but even
he was a piece of shit.
But even Willem Dafoe made fucking idiotic choices, like leaving the fucking lawn, sometimes a writer will say like the reason why he left the washer was because it was his little like signature or some bullshit.
It's like a serial killer.
Like a serial killer, exactly. But none of that was ever talked about, so I can't even give that the benefit of the doubt and say that's why he did it. So it's like, you're just an idiot.
It's weird that you open up the warehouse and it's like, the only thing that's there.
Leaving the body when you literally have an entire desert next to you that you could just bury it.
No, 100%. It's like, all right, it's your signature. Leave a fucking little
that's why I think
casino chip there.
I think he wanted to get caught and he wanted to die.
I mean, that's literally
that's the only way it kind of justifies it.
That's what happens when
you just love riding the edge of what he could go get.
He's an edgelord.
He's an edgelord for sure.
Yeah.
No, but he's like, that's what happens when you live in LA for long enough.
Yeah,
you just want to die.
You
just want to die. The city consumes you, so I don't blame him.
Yeah. No, but I guess if we round all of our scores, we give this movie a 7, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a good score.
Yeah, I honestly really recommend this film, despite that ending. I think it's just like that car chase scene alone is like everyone should see it, everyone should experience it. So
and like really good action sequences throughout too.
Yeah, so I do think that of his filmography that we've seen, I think Sorcerer is his best one so far. Yeah, I haven't seen The French Connection though, so that's something I should watch.
I haven't seen Sorcerer or French Connection. So I need to watch.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, so.
I mean, that one was good, but that one horrified me as a child. I'm like, no, still traumatized.
Didn't really scare me. But all right, let's close out this episode. I mean, 4 Guys, One Film. We're pretty much everywhere on Instagram, Letterboxd. I'm still on Twitter, but I don't really use that, and we're also on YouTube. But personally, Letterboxd I think is the best way to interact with us, and I always try to. If you follow us, there's always a chance that we will highlight your review in our episodes, and it's always fun to
also,
be able to do
we're
that.
trying to post a little more consistently on smaller platforms like TikTok, Instagram, all that. I'm the moderator, so hit me up, talk to me. I want to hear what you guys got to say. You know?
Any advice is always appreciated, constructive or not.
And eventually, we're trying to produce video for you guys. So if you guys have like a suggestion of what you guys want to see in the garage, like just let us know, and we'll try to make it happen as much as we can.
Yeah, and shout out to our audio mixer Andre, who's been making it sound real good.
Real crispy.
All right, I think that's about it. But if you've made it this far, hit us up.
Yeah,
tell us what you guys want to hear. What movies should we review?
Yeah,
if any.
You listen to us, we'll listen to you, and that's 4 Guys,
One film.